It is Wednesday, March. I keep saying March. It is Wednesday, October 9th, 2024. This is Daniel once again. How you guys doing today? I'm not sure if I'm going to put this out there. Maybe. If so, I'm going to greet the people, of course, on this recording. What is this? Maybe part two of what I was saying before about, you know, whether we should kind of believe the Bible or not. And the description of God in the Bible. What I want to talk about today, it's just a lot of things. When I wake up after I've taken my slumber for the hours that I've taken my slumber, sometimes I feel like I don't get enough sleep. Um, after I wake up, I always get some sort of kind of new revelation. I guess I don't know, based on the studies or whatnot of what I've been reading, whatever I've been reading. Or studying or articles I've been reading. It's just, something just ain't right with the world, man. Of course, we all know that something just ain't right with. There's always something wrong in the world. Uh, but it just kind of just makes you feel like, man, you want to do something. You want to do something of the way the world is going, the way the world is working and doing, and they're mistreatments of the law, right? And I'm not just talking about God's law. I'm talking about all law in particular. God's law, judicial law, legislative law, everything. Their mistreatment of it, and to the fact also the mistreatment of the law itself. That the law just isn't right in a sense. Doesn't make no the punishment don't fit the crime is what I'm saying. The punishment don't fit the crime is what I'm saying. It's just something is wrong with the punishment, versus the crime, and it just makes my head spin in a bit. Like, like I said, I don't just study Bible. I study judicial law, not even judicial law, like legislative law, and how the judicial system kind of utilize these laws and the punishments thereof that come thereof, and their their abusiveness of it. I would say their fear tactics of the society, of the news, the fear tactics of how to generate monetary gain, capital gain, whatever it may be. The mistreatment of information, the withholding of information throughout the whole world. You have to dig deep to find information. Sometimes these information isn't broadcast as they would broadcast everything else. All the fear, they would broadcast that, and they may sip in a little bit of good things about the world, or good things happen, and they may sip in a little bit, and they go back to the fear tactic. That's their whole thing. Go back to the fearful news. And I could understand that, because I'm in the place of awareness where I could understand why these medias dish out fear. It's to control the population, control the people, and that's how they kind of create money or make money. In a sense, people are out here panic spending or panic buying over fear. You know, it's like a pandemic all over again. People are just, oh, it's a hurricane. It's coming to Atlanta. We gotta pack up on eggs and toilet tissue and a whole bunch of stuff that you probably don't even need, really. Like, you probably got enough in your house, and you just need to chill for a few days. The storms don't last long. You may have damage, but that's the whole point of insurance. I would hope you and pray that you have insurance on your home. You know what I mean? If you don't have money, but we out here. I could understand the fearful tactics of the society and how they utilize fear to, and not even say fear. They use a lot of different stuff to. I know the weather is just gonna be the weather. But it's all in the mind of the individual too. You have to be safe in your mind. If you're not safe in your mind, then you ain't safe nowhere. You're gonna be panic buying every day, looking over your shoulder. It's all in the mind. And I think that's the reason Jesus came down, to get people really thinking, right? To get people really thinking about what's really happening. I want you guys to really think about what's going on. I want you, my Jews, my fellows, to really think of what's going on and where you're being controlled at. And it's all in the mind, literally. It's all in your mind. And once you get a control of your mind, or your subconscious, or your conscious, or both, you get to gain a certain awareness where it's like, okay, now you see through the bull crap. And I believe you know, Jesus seen through the bullcrap based on the first three books of the gospel. I don't know about Gospel of John. We're gonna have to get back to Gospel of John, but based on my interpretation, my opinionated interpretation, I would say I'm not saying my what I'm saying right now is fact. Don't put this out there and don't run with it. Just listen to me. Based on my opinionated interpretation, based on the first three gospels, Jesus was trying to wake people up in a sense, and to really think about where you're trapped at, where you're really in bondage at. It's in your mind right now. These people out here using fear tactic, possibly most likely using God's law to keep you in bondage in order to keep the monetary flow going. The taxes, all this other stuff, all the taxes keep going. For the taxes, for them to keep the hold on taxes on you, the money to keep flowing. You actually think the Pharisees wasn't gaining something from the taxes, man? I'm pretty sure. They had a big temple. They had the nicest clothes. Anyway, um, and it's the same thing today with the prosperity gospels out here. They use the fear tactic. Oh, God, He won't come into your life and you won't sow anything good for you if you don't pay your tithe or pay something to the church or whatever it is, your time. It's the same tactic. So like I said, I'm not faulting God for this. If I'm faulting these people, these individuals, I can't blame God, and I can't blame the devil. You know what I'm saying? I'm blaming devil for nothing. It's just evil people out here trying to gain something that is frivolous. They can't take it with them when they die. But either way, I guess, in a sense, it keeps the world going. It keeps the monetary flow going, in a sense. To me, I just feel like, and let me say this first and foremost. I said this before. My opinion don't matter, but I'm gonna give you my opinion again. Um, Damn, I just lost my train of thought again. But it's a fear tactic. Regardless. Even with like the legislative laws that we out here that we abide by. Here's the thing. I want people to start thinking at the same time, and if you're not at a level to start thinking, then by all means, just cut this video off, cut this recording off. You don't have to continue to listen to it, because at the same time, I want people to start really opening their mind and start thinking. And I think it starts off by reading, really, just reading a lot of different things. Think of it this way: we're being taxed, bro. We're being taxed everywhere we go, right? And I'm not talking. And I'm not really think like not just paying your taxes in April, before April. I'm not saying that paying your taxes every year. I'm not saying that. Of course, you're paying your taxes every year, right? But you're also paying taxes when you go to work, right? And you might ask, how am I paying taxes when I go? You're being taxed on your labor. If you look at your W-2, your W-2, your pay stubs, there's income taxes coming out. They're taxing on your labor as you continue to clock in and work. You're being taxed on your labor. I'm not sure if it's lawful. Well, it's not constitutional law for them to tax you. I think it's not in the. I think it's in the Constitution where they're not supposed to tax you on your labor. But there's ways around that, and it includes contract law. And we could go through a whole different scenario. We could go through a whole nother recording of me talking about contract law and all this other stuff. But there's ways around to get there's ways to get around constitutional law, and that's through certain contract laws or whatever. So once you because you're in a contract with your place of employment, they are able to tax you on your labor, right? So boom, you're paying taxes every year, and then you're being taxed as you work. When you come home, you're being taxed as well. Do you know that? Yeah, property taxes. If you guys didn't understand, property taxes. You're being taxed when you come home. You're sleeping. You're being taxed every year, right? When you get in your car, you're being taxed. Yes, you pay the tax every year, right? You pay the registration tax. That's a tax now. You're being taxed while for driving your vehicle that you paid for. Need I remind you, right? Um, Amongst other things, you're being taxed when if you take out money out your account of your OASDI or whatever, you're being taxed for that. Before you retire, it's just crazy. You put in money and they still tax you. You put in the money throughout your whole working life, and they tax you for taking out an early withdrawal. It's crazy. Not to mention all these other taxes, sales tax. You're taxed on everything that you buy. Your sales tax. This world is run by our labor. Do you guys understand that? This whole entire world is, well, I should say, yeah, this whole entire world, this planet, this United States government, whatever you want to call it, is run by our blood, sweat, and tears, man. Because we're being taxed on our labor. I mean, of course, we have to buy stuff, right? We're being taxed, sales taxed. Um, Not to mention when we get pulled over by a cop, we're getting ticketed. There's another tax right there. That's a tax. That's a citation. That's what it is. It's a tax. You just taxed by breaking a code or breaking a statute law, whatever it is. You're being taxed, and I see why in the Bible it talks about they coupled sinners with tax collectors. Oh, why you sitting with tax collectors and sinners? Because it's the same thing they was doing back then. They doing to us today. We're being taxed. Everywhere we go, everywhere, and even now, like, because I play video games, of course, they're taxing on the digital media. What? They're taxing on digital media. We're talking about things that you don't even have. Tangible things. Like I got DVDs and physical games, right? Of course, I would see why they would tax that, but they're taxing on digital stuff. Like stuff that could go away. I didn't pay the tax on this digital thing, but the grid could get shut down. I lose it forever. But I paid the tax on it. You see what I'm saying? It's crazy. I want people to start thinking where they're trapped, I want people to start thinking. The only people that really have any kind of skin in this game of life, really, in this, because we all could run away from this. But the only people that have really any skin is the guys that have money, man, or debt money. Really, it ain't really money, but it's people that are deemed rich in a sense. They got money that's flowing. All this taxes don't matter to them. They pay it. They pay it whenever they pay it. The government's still coming after them in most cases, unless they own the IRS. Seems like I gotta control. Seems like I gotta. It seems like I gotta damn take control of the IRS, so I can stop paying taxes. But it's just the blatant abuse of authority, of statute. Um, I could have sworn taxes is voluntary. At one point, it was voluntary. I believe I gotta read the Constitution of the United States once again. Constitution. Every state has a constitution, and it should be along the same lines as the U.S. Constitution. And I believe taxes were involuntary at one point, or maybe it just got overturned. I think it was what, the 14th or the 16th Amendment. It's just a lot of stuff that I've read, and it's just the awareness is like, okay, man, we being bamboozled out here. We got people bamboozling us with the Bible, and their description of God just don't make sense. It's just, yeah, this is what like I said, this is my opinion. And this is what my heart says. They said, the Bible says, don't go with your heart. The heart is deceitful. Yeah, but where's the free will to do that, right? I mean, God give us free will, right? This is just based on my readings, my studies, and constant meditation in a quiet space. It just hurts to hear it hurts to know the abuse that is being going on. Give me liberty or give me peace. Give me liberty or give me peace, man. The Bible's saying something. It's just their description of God is so weird. It's so weird, man. I just can't see a loving God. Let me add that. I just don't see a loving God doing all the heinous acts in the Old Testament. I'm just gonna throw that out there. I could be so self aware and put myself in different perspectives throughout the whole planet. But when I put my perspective on God, it just seems like I wouldn't do the things that He does. Now, does that make God irrational and rational at the same time? The Bible portrays that it makes God rational and irrational at the same time. It just makes no sense. The punishment don't fit the crime. Giving Miriam sores on her face and she's damn near about to die with a plague doesn't constitute what she did. The punishment don't fit the crime. No, I wouldn't give. If I was God, of course, I wouldn't give someone leprosy for stating their opinion of the leadership, right? It sounds like a tyrant. She's stating her opinion based on the leadership of who should be leader. I mean, of course that was God's prophet Moses, but just her stating her opinion and just don't make sense to give someone leprosy. Sometimes I have to ask God, was that you? You did that? As a loving father, you just didn't want to just kind of like push her to the side and just, hey, look, this is my prophet. I'm giving him the orders. I'm gonna need you to kind of step aside or something. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. That's what I would have said. Well, I'm gonna give this lady leprosy, and she's suffering for what, a few days, a week, I think, before she come back into the camp. It's wild. I mean, to me, it just feels like they lying on God. The Bible lying on. I ain't. I hate to say it, bro. I hate to say it. It seems like they lying on God. He's some sort of dictator, tyrant, childlike. This is just my opinion. I could put, like I said, I could put myself in God's shoes, and still don't understand. You know what I mean? I could try. At the end of the day, we don't know the true reason why He gave her leprosy. Obviously, I would have to ask God Himself. No one out here could answer that. No one could answer that answer. No one could give me the answer that I need except for God Himself about that situation. And if I ever talk to God and He say that He ain't do it, then the Bible is lying. The Bible's lying. The Bible's lying on God. There may be some truth in the Bible about who God is, but that just don't seem right. If we were to be made in the image of God, I wouldn't do that to anyone. In my rational mind, I would not do that. So if I wouldn't do that, then are we calling God irrational? God is rational, right? I mean, is God rational or irrational? Which one is it? Or is he both? Can we be both rational and irrational? Just makes no sense. We either good or evil, right? I mean, just ask that question. Are we good or are we evil? Or are we both? Which one is it? Now, if we're both, if we have good and evil within us, then that means God has good and evil within us because we are made in the image of God, right? I'm trying to make people think really. If we are made in the image of God and we have both good and evil within us, which I believe we do. This is what I believe. We have a negative side and we have a positive side. The negative side comes when the time is needed. When the time is needed negative, we have to sow into our negative nature when it comes to survival. Right? When it comes to survival, we have to sow into our negative nature. We have to kill, we have to steal, in a sense, to feed ourselves when we're on the brink of death. We have to sow into our negative. We may not want to sin. We don't want to steal and rob and all this other stuff. But when it comes to, in a sense of survival, we have to break a commandment. We don't want to, but we are able to risk the consequences for survival. This is what I believe, that we all have some sort of negative energy within us. Now, I'm not telling people to go out there and sow into their negative energy. It just makes no sense why you're just sinning. Continue to live in love out here. But on the grounds of survival, that's the only way you would sow into your negative nature. If you need to, let that be the last resort. So if we were to say that we are the image of God, then we have to say that God has a negative nature. In a sense, the Bible proves it. In a sense, by him giving leprosy to Miriam, which is very harsh. I wouldn't do that. That'd be the last thing I'll do to somebody. That'd be the last thing. I'd rather lock them up first, put them in a cage or something. I don't know. And the lady had to suffer for a minute. Got leprosy on her face, all over. She coughing and all this other stuff. That sounds very evil in a sense. Don't you feel like that sounds very evil? That'd be the last thing I would do. But here's the thing. I'm not faulting the God that I serve, that I pray, based on the description the Bible holds. This may not be God. The description that is said in the Bible of who God is, or the God of Abraham, Isaac, whoever, the God of the Bible, is saying that the God that we serve today did this stuff. People are saying, Christians are saying that this book is a historical book. It's truth in here. This is the absolute truth. And most likely all of these events, possibly most likely all of these events have happened. This is what, my Christian brothers and sisters are saying. That is factual. Everything here is factual. It's facts. Oh, just like I said in my last video, there's a mixture of a lot of different things in this Bible. There's a lot of mythology. There's a lot of truth in it. There's a lot of historical truth as far as the sins in regards to the sins, because we have sin today. In regards to the places, like the places, like the names of the place, like Jerusalem, is Israel. Those are real places today, right? Territory, locations, a lot of mixture of truth that is apparent today, right? But there's also a lot of mythology in as well. A little mixture of mythology, like stories I've heard from other pieces of work, like the Noah flood story I've heard in other pieces of work of stories. of different canons of different stories or whatnot. The Noah flood. You know, you could put the Epic of Gilgamesh in the Noah story, and it constitutes the same thing. Now, Gilgamesh isn't supposedly in the Bible, but he can be in the Bible. Just Gilgamesh is just an epic. I think was it a poem or something, or it was like a fictional type work in a sense. As it was story, it was a story, but you can mix the Epic of Gilgamesh into the Bible if you want to, if you can, because there was giants in those days, according to the Bible. So there's a lot of mixture of, like I said, this is just based on my research. I sit down and read these things. I kid you not. I kid you not. I sit down and read a lot. I not just Bible stuff. I read everything. If I'm if I'm interested in it. And of course there's a lot of mixture of metaphors in the Bible, and that's where it gets real confusing because you don't know whether the metaphors are truth or they're just speaking in metaphors. A metaphor is supposed to be a metaphor, right? We also got visions and dreams in the Bible, and my Christian brothers and sisters may constitute that as, okay, well, this is what's to happen. This vision is going to happen. This is going to be factual. A vision, right? A dream is going to happen, is what, according to the interpretation, that this dream is going to happen. This dream of John, Revelation, is going to happen. And if that's the case, then all my dreams and my visions are going to happen too, right? Wasn't John just a human? Am I just a human? And my visions going to happen? Not all the time. I don't think many people's visions and dreams come into fruition. They just dreams. Like I said before in the last video, whatever you give your strength and your attention to, this is what's going to manifest into your world, and that includes inside your subconscious mind. This is what I believe, and I've tested it and proved it. Like, okay, well, if I give myself to reading Archie comics every day, day in and day out, most likely I'm going to manifest Archie everywhere in my life. I'm about to see Archie everywhere. I'm going to see Archie comics everywhere. Everywhere I go, every place I go, I'm going to see Archie or someone that looks like someone that's into Archie comics. It has happened plenty of times before where I have manifested beings that I've read about, and they come out, oh, you look like someone that I know, or you look like someone in the cartoon I've been watching, or something like that, or some book. You know, you start to manifest things that you ponder about, man. These individuals start coming to your life that you think about. These things are going to start coming to you. If you're thinking about money a lot, best believe money is going to come to you. You're going to start finding nickels and dimes and quarters. I kid you not. I've tried it, and I've tested and tried it. Yet, like, literally last week, I'm gonna absorb some money today, and then I start finding nickels, dimes. I'm like, damn, bro, I'm broke. I need to manifest $50 bills. Nah, but seriously, you're gonna start seeing what you. Like I said, I'm not telling people to try to be gods out here, but there is some truth. There is some truth to the power of the conscious mind. There is some truth. We could call it God. We could call it whatever. But there is some truth once you start manifesting. Once you start really pondering on something that you are trying to pursue, best believe it's going to come into your life, right? So, boom, I can give you an example, right? Back in my old place, my job, my last job, I was really, really, because I used to work in in a home improvement setting, right? A home improvement setting, place of business. So I really and rapidly got interested in real estate, like really like working on homes and fixing them up and flipping them. right? I said, man, that would make, because I'm handy. I'm willing to fix anything up. If I'm willing to learn and fix anything up. That's just me. I think that's just most men, right? But just give me some alone time, and I'm fixing something, bro. Just give me some time, and I'm fixing something. I'm fixing something up, or I'm repairing something, right? So I got rapidly interested in flipping homes or whatnot, fixing them up, flipping them, right? But I just didn't know where to start. I started watching YouTube videos on it, stuff like that, and just trying to get everything together. That's all I was doing, just watching literal YouTube videos on it, right? So tell me why someone comes in my department. Who flips homes? This customer. He flips homes and he comes straight to me and starts talking about this stuff. Like literally talking about this stuff. Like telling me like, look, this is how you do it. Boom, boom, boom. I'm like, bro, where did you come from? Where did he come from? He said, yo, take my WhatsApp, take my WhatsApp. Like he gave me his number to his WhatsApp. He started sending me stuff. Like this is how you do it, and here's my clients or something like that. Not his clients, but something on the lines of what he does, right? Right. Some guy from I think he was from Europe or something like that, man. From Europe, bro. Right. So like I said, you start to manifest things you give yourself to, whether in real life or in your subconscious. You start dreaming about this stuff. So I'm pretty sure, and I'm not trying to disprove the Bible. This just is my opinion. I believe John manifested Jesus in his mind in the revelations. Now I'm not saying revelations won't ever happen. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying the details in revelations will never happen. I'm not saying that. But I believe with John, he gave his life to living in Jesus way, in Jesus Christ's way, and living the godly way, and having these visions or division of talking to the host of heaven, talking to Jesus, and seeing what is to come. Seeing what's to come. So, like I said, I'm not saying that Revelation is just a dream and it'll never happen. In Revelation, we will know that when the time comes. All I could go on is faith. I could have faith that all of that could go on. I'm not saying that it will happen, but I could go on faith that, okay, well, the Bible is saying that it is to come. I just got to go on faith that it will come. I have to go on faith with everything that I have never been in. I have never been in the Holocaust or seen the Holocaust, or I wasn't there during the Holocaust. But I can have faith that it has happened based on the works that I've been reading. That's all I could go by. I'm not saying it's truth. I'm not saying it's nothing. I'm just saying I have faith that it has happened. I wasn't there, but I could go on faith that it happened. I could go on faith that Jesus was a real person, even though the Bible mixes a lot of different, ideologies, mythologies, and truth and metaphors and dreams. It has a lot of mixture of that in there, and also poetry too. It has poetry in it. There's a lot of different stuff in the Bible. It just has different a lot of genres in it, which makes it very cartoony. Like, I hate to say this, it sounds harsh. I'm not trying to disrespect the Bible, but we could agree that it has a lot of different stuff in it, a lot of different genres of books, poetry. You know, the Job story. It sounds like poetry. It sounds like how you say it? What is it? Dante's Inferno. If anybody read Dante's Inferno or Dante's Purgatorio or whatever it's called, you would know that was poetry. Now, if you read the book of Job in the King James version, it sounds so good, like poetry, like Hamlet. It is so beautiful. The book of Job, it is so beautiful. But is it truth? That's the thing. My Christian readers will look at him like, oh, everything is in there is truth. It's truth. But Basically, like I said, this is my opinion. It just has a lot of mixture of different things in it, and it just makes it cartoonish. Makes it cartoony, makes it semi fictional, and I have to decipher what in there is truth. You know, what in there is truth, and which one is not truth, and which one is just a metaphor, right? Is the kingdom here? Is the king with according to Jesus? Is the kingdom within us, as he said, proclaimed, or is the kingdom to come, the physical kingdom? Which one is it? Which one he talking about? I mean, just come on, make it make sense. With the contradictions, make it make sense. Is the kingdom within us, as Jesus has proclaimed? The kingdom is within you, or is the kingdom to come? Is it coming down? Is Mount Zion coming down, and the New Jerusalem coming down? Is the kingdom to come? Which one is it? So is the kingdom here according to Jesus? It's just it's a weird concept. It's a weird thought process. You know, it, it just makes you. It just, like I said, it makes me think. I just want people to think. As a matter of fact, you don't have to think yet. Just start reading. Just start reading. Just get a bunch of books. It don't matter what it is, fiction, nonfiction. Just start reading everything. Start with the Bible, though. Start with the Bible. I know I have the Quran. I'm gonna read that possibly soon, maybe. And just really look at the way of the world and how it's working. How we're trapped, man. We're trapped. We're trapped. We're not trapped. We can escape. As a matter of fact, we just put ourselves in it. We could stop all this. Literally, we could literally stop reading. I could literally stop reading. Um, if I wanted to, I could just stop reading. But I'm such a freaking Renaissance man, or a polymath. I think that's another word for it. But I'm like a Renaissance man, where I'm just so interested in many different things, right? Many different things. So I'm going to read a lot of different things. If it's me fixing TVs and fixing computers and stuff like that, I'm gonna read about it, how to learn. I'm gonna learn circuitry. I kid you not. If it's about the law and the legislative law of the governments, I'm going to read about it because it's very interesting. Bible, same thing. My spirituality, I'm gonna figure this out. Everything, comics, I got a whole bunch of damn stuff that I read. Day trading, um, stocks, cryptocurrency, all that stuff. Learning about the IRS and taxes, stuff like that, and them different documents, stuff like that. This is what I do. Sometimes I just don't have time to do it. My job takes a lot of my time. Um, but here's my thing. I could run away from it all because according to the Bible, and I'm going back to the Bible, we initially weren't supposed to know all this crap. Initially, we weren't supposed to know nothing, no knowledge of good and evil, nothing. No knowledge of the shame of me being naked. None of that stuff. You know? So it goes back to the thought. What parts of the Bible do I agree with and and disagree with? It's just we could point out the contradictions, right? We could point out the contradictions if you're looking for it. Some people are not looking for it, and that's fine. Some people are not looking for the contradictions. To me, I'm not looking for the contradictions, but I have a whole bunch of scripture in my head that starts contradicting itself. It's I'm like, what? But the scripture in John said, this is what I'm remembering. This is not me looking to disprove the Bible. I have a whole bunch of scripture in my head that is like, okay, well, Jesus said this way, but in the Old Testament it says this. Like, you know what I mean? It's contradicting in my head because the script of all the scriptures that are in my head. So now it makes me want to go dig deeper. Like, okay, what's really going on? What's up with this Bible? You know what I mean? Now, again, I'm gonna say this again. There's a lot of great teachings in the Bible. We could take a lot from it. I kid you not, we could take a lot. And how we walk out here, there's a lot of great teachings in it. But well, here's the thing: with any piece of work, there's good teachings. Any piece of work, even the Quran. Yes, I'm gonna say it again. Even the Quran has good teachings as well. But anything that a piece of work has some good teachings that you could take bits and pieces from. Um, Everything. So, like I said, I'm gonna continue to be the Renaissance man of 20 of this age of 2024, 2025, and just read everything and absorb everything without making a final decision. I'm not finna make a final decision because at the end of the day, the final decision it comes from the Lord. His decision at the end of age, if we want to say it like that. The final decisions is on the Lord. Whatever happens, I'm just gonna live right. I'm gonna live right now. I'm gonna live and have fun without sinning. Of course, I'm not. I'm not with the sin. My morals tell me that sin is wrong. I don't even have to read the Bible to know that my sins, the things that I do that they're wrong. The worst, the bad things that I do are wrong. My morals in itself will tell me that. I'm not finna be trying to hurt people out here. That's just not what I should do, at all. So like I said, I'm gonna have fun, give and take. God extends my life to wherever time it is, and it's time for me to cross over. Then it's time for me to cross over. But until then, we gonna be the Renaissance man of 2024, 2025. I'm gonna try to most likely enjoy life, enjoy that great outdoors as I usually do. Get into the wilderness every now and then because sometimes I need some peace to get away from the city life, the Egypt life. And that's about it, man. That's it, man. All in all, thank you guys for listening, and there may be a part 3 of this, but yeah, it is what it is. Thank you. If you guys and girls made it this far, press that like button and don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If you're watching this on my Facebook page, take the time to subscribe to my YouTube page at Notice TV. That's all caps, NOTICE TV. I'll catch you later and may God bless you.